My husband called my salary side money and refused to put my name on the house deed because men need security. When he cheated, I quietly sent the evidence to his commanding officer in the mortgage company. Now he's losing both the house and his rank. My husband told me last week that women don't really understand property ownership while I was signing away my half of the down payment on our house. I just transferred $85,000 from my account. Money I'd saved from 6 years as a surgical nurse doing double shifts while he was deployed. He was standing in the title company office in his dress blues, smiling at the lawyer like they shared some joke I wasn't smart enough to get. Her name doesn't need to be on the deed, he said. I'm active duty. The VA loan is in my name. She's just contributing to the household. The lawyer looked uncomfortable. Sir, she's contributing $85,000. That's not typical household spending. It's side money, my husband said. He actually said that. Men need security. What if she decides to leave? I can't lose my asset because she got emotional. I should have walked out. But I signed the paperwork anyway because I thought he was just being weird about military culture or something. We've been together for 8 years. I thought I knew him. 2 months later I came home early from a shift because a surgery got cancelled. His truck was in the driveway at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. He was supposed to be on base. I heard her before I saw her. Some woman laughing in my bedroom. In the bed I'd bought with my side money. I didn't go upstairs. I stood in the kitchen and I called my brother who's a lawyer. Then I went to my car and I waited. She left around 4 p.m. Blonde, younger than me, wearing my husband's unit shirt. She kissed him goodbye on the porch like she had every right to be there. I drove to Walmart and bought the cheapest pay-as-you-go phone they had. Then I created an email account he'd never seen before. And I started documenting everything. He wasn't careful. He didn't think I was smart enough to check phone records or credit card statements. I found hotel charges going back 7 months. Restaurants I'd never been to. Venmo payments to someone named Brittany with hearts in the memo line. But the best thing I found was his text messages. He'd been using the backup to our shared iCloud like an idiot. Every message automatically saved where I could see them. Can't wait till this deployment. Gonna tell her I'm overseas but really I'll get us that cabin in Tennessee for 2 weeks. She's too stupid to check. She actually thinks her nursing money matters lol. I got the house in my name. She can't touch it. Getting real sick of coming home to her. Once I make 04 I'm gone anyway. Just waiting for the right time. I screenshotted everything. Then I printed everything. Then I put it all in a folder and I didn't say a word. I kept going to work. Kept cooking dinner. Kept sleeping next to him like nothing was wrong. 3 weeks later he told me he was deploying to Kuwait for 6 months. He had his orders and everything. I helped him pack. Kissed him goodbye at the airport. Then I went to the JAG office on base. Military takes adultery seriously. It's actually illegal under the UCMJ. I didn't know that until my brother told me. I brought my folder with printed texts, hotel receipts, photos of her leaving my house, Venmo records, everything. The JAG officer's face got real tight when she read through it. Ma'am, this is substantial evidence of conduct unbecoming. We'll need to investigate. There's more, I said. He's not actually deployed. He's going to Tennessee with her. I have the Airbnb reservation confirmation in his email. She wrote that down too. Then I went to the mortgage company. Brought my bank record showing my $85,000 transfer. Brought the title showing only his name on the deed despite my massive contribution. I need to know my legal options, I told them. My husband committed mortgage fraud by claiming this was his sole investment when I contributed the majority of the down payment. They got very interested very fast. Then I filed for divorce. And I waited. He called me 4 days into his deployment. Screaming. Absolutely losing it. What the fuck did you do? CID just showed up at the cabin. They're investigating me. My command knows everything. I sent them the evidence, I said. My voice was calm. I'd practiced. You ruined my career. I'm getting an Article 15. They're talking about demotion. You ruined your career when you committed adultery. That's illegal in the military. You told me that yourself once. This is insane. Over a mistake? 7 months isn't a mistake. And stealing my down payment wasn't a mistake either. He started crying then. Actually crying. Baby please. I'll fix this. We can work this out. I'll put your name on the house. I'll do anything. The mortgage company is investigating you for fraud. You claimed VA benefits for a house you told them was your sole investment. But I have bank records proving I gave you $85,000. That's fraud. The line went quiet. You'll lose everything, I said. The house is going into foreclosure because you can't afford it without my income. Your rank is getting stripped because adultery is a crime in the military. And I'm getting my $85,000 back in the divorce plus damages for fraud. Your command already has copies of everything. You vindictive bitch. No. I'm just a woman who doesn't understand property ownership. Remember? I hung up. The foreclosure took 4 months. He tried to fight it but couldn't make the payments on his own. Lost $40,000 in the process. My lawyer got me a settlement that included my full $85,000 plus interest plus half the loss value. He got demoted from E7 to E5. Lost about $800 a month in pay. Got a formal reprimand in his permanent record that'll block him from ever making officer. Brittany left him 2 weeks after his demotion came through. He lives in base housing now. Alone. Drives an old beat-up Honda because he had to sell his truck. My brother says I went nuclear over something that could have been handled quietly. My mom thinks I should have just taken the divorce and moved on. His family is blowing up my phone calling me cruel. But he called my money side money. He committed fraud with my savings. He planned to abandon me after using me financially for years. Now I'm wondering if I overreacted. Am I a butthole? His mother showed up at my apartment 3 days after I filed the paperwork. She didn't knock. She had a key I didn't know existed, walked straight into my living room while I was eating cereal in my scrubs after a 12-hour shift. Just standing there in my space like she owned it. You need to drop this, she said. No hello. No preamble. You're destroying my son's life over a mistake. I put my spoon down. He destroyed his own life. I just made sure the right people knew about it. He made one bad choice. You made it your mission to ruin him. She crossed her arms. The military thing was cruel. You knew what that would do to his career. He knew what adultery would do to his career. It's literally in the regulations he signed. She stepped closer. Her voice dropped. You took everything from him. The house, his rank, his future. All because he had a moment of weakness with some girl who didn't mean anything. 7 months isn't a moment. You're being vindictive. This isn't about justice, it's about revenge. She pulled out her phone. Showed me a photo of him sitting in what looked like a bare apartment. He looked thin. Tired. Look at him. He's devastated. He lost everything. Good. Her face went hard. I raised him better than to marry someone this cold. You raised him to think women's money doesn't count. You raised him to think he could take $85,000 from me and I'd be too stupid to do anything about it. I stood up. He told me men need security. Where'd he learn that? She didn't answer that. I want my key back, I said. This is his key. He gave it to me in case of emergencies. This is my apartment. My name on the lease. My luck. Give me the key. She threw it on my coffee table. It skittered across and fell on the floor. You're going to regret this. When you're alone and you realize you threw away 8 years over pride. I threw away 8 years on a man who planned to abandon me after he got promoted. I have the text to prove it. I opened my door. Get out. She left. But she called me 17 times over the next 2 days. I blocked her number. Work got weird after that. Someone told my coworkers about the situation. I don't know who. Suddenly people had opinions. One of the older nurses cornered me in the break room. I heard about your husband. That's rough. Ex-husband. Still. She poured coffee. Didn't look at me. Military marriages are hard. Deployments, stress. Sometimes people make mistakes. He wasn't deployed. He lied about deploying so he could go to Tennessee with his girlfriend. She stirred her coffee for a long time. I just think sometimes we expect too much from men in high-pressure jobs. They need understanding. I left the break room. But it kept happening. Little comments. Concerned looks. A coworker mentioned her own husband had strayed once and they'd worked through it. Another one said I should consider counseling before making permanent decisions. Only my friend Jessica got it. They're insane, she said when I told her. He stole from you and cheated on you. What's there to work through? The settlement meeting was worse. He showed up looking like hell. Unshaven. Wearing civilian clothes that looked slept in. His lawyer did most of the talking. My client is willing to agree to the dissolution of marriage. However, he contests the fraud claim regarding the down payment. He maintains that was a gift. My lawyer slid the bank transfer records across the table. Her statement at the time of transfer listed as down payment contribution, joint home purchase. She has emails where she discusses adding her name to the deed after closing. There's documented evidence this was not a gift. His lawyer looked uncomfortable. Nevertheless, your client committed mortgage fraud and adultery. We have cooperation from both the VA loan department and his command. This can go to court if he prefers. He signed everything. When the lawyers left to make copies, we sat there alone for maybe 30 seconds. He stared at the table. I'm sorry, he said quietly. For what it's worth. I'm really sorry. I didn't say anything. I know I fucked up. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. But I never meant for it to go this far. His voice cracked. I lost everything. You were planning to leave anyway. You said so yourself in the texts. I was angry when I wrote that. I didn't mean it. You meant it enough to book a 2-week vacation with her while lying to me about deployment. He put his head in his hands. Started crying. Real tears, not the manipulative kind from our phone call. I can't afford my truck payment. I'm living in a 600 square foot apartment with 3 other junior enlisted guys. I'm 34 years old and I'm bunking with 23-year-olds because I can't afford anything else. You still make more money than most people. I make $800 less a month than I used to. Plus I lost my housing allowance because I'm back in base housing. Plus the divorce settlement cleaned out my savings. He looked up at me. His eyes were red. I have nothing left. You have exactly what you deserve. The lawyers came back. He signed the last page. Didn't look at me again. I got my $85,000 plus $12,000 in interest and documented losses. My lawyer said I could have pushed for more, but I just wanted it done. Brittany messaged me 2 weeks later. I don't know how she got my number. You destroyed a good man over jealousy. He told me you were crazy, but I didn't believe it. You cost him everything because you couldn't handle that he found someone better. I blocked her. My mom called yesterday. Said his mother reached out to her. Said they're worried about him. Said he's depressed and struggling and maybe I should reach out. Just to see how he's doing. Show some compassion. No. Sweetie, I know he hurt you. But this seems excessive. He's suffering. He committed fraud with my money and cheated on me for 7 months. What part of that deserves my compassion? The part where you spent 8 years together. That has to count for something. But it doesn't. Not anymore. I'm sleeping fine. Working normal shifts. My apartment is quiet and it's mine and nobody's stealing from me. Some people think I'm cold. Some people think I went too far. His family definitely thinks I'm a monster. But every time I doubt myself, I remember him standing in that title office saying women don't understand property ownership while I signed away $85,000. So I keep asking myself, did I actually overreact? Should I have just taken the divorce and walked away quietly? Was destroying his career and his finances too much? The lawyer called me at work 6 days ago and told me we had a problem. Not with the settlement. That was done. Signed. Final. The problem was his command decided my evidence wasn't just enough for an Article 15. They were pushing for a full court-martial. They want you to testify, she said. In person. On base. In front of a panel. I almost dropped my phone. I gave them everything already. All the documentation. What else do they need? They need you to authenticate it. Explain how you obtained it. Answer questions about the timeline and your knowledge of the affair. She paused. It's voluntary. You can refuse. But without your testimony, their case gets weaker. I said I'd think about it. That same night, his father showed up at my apartment building. Didn't come to my door. Just sat in his truck in the parking lot for 2 hours. I watched him from my window. He never got out. Just sat there. When I left for my morning shift, he was gone. But there was a note under my windshield wiper. Please don't testify. He's already lost enough. This will destroy what's left of his life. I'm begging you as a father. Show mercy. I threw it away in the hospital parking garage. Jessica asked me what I was going to do while we were restocking supply closets during our shift. I don't know yet. What's there to think about? He cheated on you and stole your money. Let him burn. His dad showed up at my apartment. She stopped what she was doing. What? Didn't knock or anything. Just sat in his truck watching my building. I shoved gauze packages onto the shelf harder than necessary. Left me a note begging me not to testify. That's creepy as hell. Did you call the police? And say what? He sat in a parking lot? I closed the supply cabinet. They tell me he wasn't doing anything illegal. It's intimidation. It's desperation. But it got worse after that. His mother started calling from different numbers. I'd block one and another would pop up an hour later. She left voicemails. Long ones. Crying. Saying I was killing her son. Saying the court-martial would end him completely. Saying real Christians forgive. I'm not even Christian. Then people from his unit started reaching out. Friends of his. Guys I'd met at unit functions over the years. Their messages were all similar. Hey, I know things ended badly with you too, but he's a good guy who made a mistake. The court-martial is extreme. Maybe reconsider? We've served with him for years. He's solid. Everyone makes bad choices. Don't ruin his whole career over this. His leadership is making an example out of him. You don't have to participate in that. I blocked 12 different numbers in 3 days. Work got more uncomfortable too. The older nurse who'd cornered me before started being openly cold. Wouldn't acknowledge me in the hallway. Switched her break times to avoid being in the room with me. Another coworker I barely knew approached me by the nurse's station. I heard you're testifying against your ex-husband in military court. I haven't decided yet. That seems harsh. He's already demoted. Already lost the house. What more do you want from him? I want him to face consequences for breaking the law. She made this face. Like I'd said something disgusting. The law isn't always right. Sometimes grace matters more than justice. I walked away from that conversation. But the worst part was running into someone from his unit at the grocery store. I didn't recognize him at first. He recognized me. You're ruining a good Marine's life, he said. Right there in the produce section. Loud enough that people turned to look. He made a mistake with some girl. That happens. You're taking it too far. He committed fraud and adultery. And he's paying for it. He lost rank. Lost his housing. You already got your money back in the divorce. Why do you need to destroy him completely? I'm not destroying him. He destroyed himself. Testifying at his court-martial is vindictive. You're a nurse. You're supposed to have compassion. He grabbed a bag of apples. Didn't break eye contact. I hope you can live with yourself when he loses everything. I left my card and walked out. Jessica told me later that night I should file a restraining order against his family. Maybe against him too. They're harassing you. His dad stalking your apartment, his mom calling from different numbers, his friends confronting you in public. That's not okay. A restraining order won't stop a court-martial. No, but it'll stop them from making your life hell while you decide whether to testify. I thought about it. But something felt wrong about hiding behind legal protection when I was the one with all the power here. I had the evidence. I had the choice. They were desperate because they knew I could end him. My lawyer called again yesterday. The JAG office needs your answer. The court-martial is scheduled for 3 weeks from now. If you're testifying, they need time to prep you. What happens if I don't testify? Honestly? They might still proceed with the documentary evidence. But it's weaker without you there to authenticate it and answer cross-examination. His defense will argue the evidence is circumstantial or improperly obtained. He might get off with a lesser charge or nothing at all. And if I do testify? With your testimony, it's almost certain he'll be convicted. Adultery under the UCMJ is straightforward when you have this much proof. He'll likely face discharge. Either administrative or other than honorable. His career is over either way, but this makes it official. I told her I'd call her back. I sat in my apartment that night thinking about him crying at the settlement meeting. Thinking about his father sitting in his truck. His mother's voicemails. That guy in the grocery store. Thinking about him standing in the title office telling the lawyer that men need security while I signed away $85,000. Thinking about him texting his girlfriend that I was too stupid to check his location. Thinking about him booking a vacation with her while lying to me about deployment. I called my lawyer this morning. I'll testify. She said she'd notify the JAG office. I've gotten 14 messages since then. His mother. His father. 3 different guys from his unit. Brittany somehow got my new number and sent me a paragraph about how I'm evil. My mom called. Said his mother contacted her again. Said they're begging me to reconsider. Said his father is having chest pains from the stress. Just think about what you're doing, my mom said. This is permanent. You can't take it back. He can't take back cheating on me for 7 months either. Sweetie, please. I know you're hurt. But this is cruel. I hung up on her. Now I'm sitting here wondering if everyone else sees something I don't. If I'm actually being vindictive instead of just holding him accountable. If testifying at his court-martial makes me the villain somehow. But I keep coming back to the same question. If the roles were reversed and I'd stolen his money and cheated on him, would anyone be begging him to show me mercy? His mother survived the heart attack. I found out from Jessica, who heard it from someone at the base clinic. Stable condition. Released after 4 days. No permanent damage. Part of me felt relieved. Part of me felt nothing at all. The hospital fired me 2 weeks later. Not administrative leave anymore. Actual termination. They cited the complaints, the Facebook posts, the pattern of behavior inconsistent with our values. My lawyer said we could fight it, but it would take a year minimum and cost more than I had. She said sometimes you have to know when to walk away. I filed for unemployment. Started applying to other hospitals. 3 interviews so far. None of them called back. I think they're checking references. I think my old supervisor is telling them things. Jessica quit last month. Said she couldn't work there anymore after what they did to me. She's at a different hospital now. Better pay. She keeps offering to put in a good word for me, but I told her not to. I don't want to drag her down too. My apartment got quiet. Really quiet. No more calls from his family. No more messages from strangers. The Facebook harassment stopped after I deleted my entire account. I sat in that silence for 3 weeks before I finally looked him up. He's working at a car dealership now. Used cars. I found his employee profile on their website. Clean shaved. Wearing a cheap suit. Smiling like nothing ever happened. Other than honorable discharge processed last month. 15 years of service gone. No benefits. No pension. Nothing. I thought I'd feel something seeing that. Victory maybe. Justice. Something. I didn't feel anything. My mom called me yesterday for the first time in 6 weeks. Asked how I was doing. I told her I got fired. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you though? Long silence. Then she said, I think you made choices that led here. I think you prioritized being right over being kind. And now you're living with those choices. He stole from me and cheated on me for 7 months. And you destroyed his entire life in response. His career. His family's health. His future. Was it worth it? I hung up without answering. But I keep thinking about that question. Was it worth it? I have my $85,000 back plus interest. I have my dignity. I have the satisfaction of knowing he faced real consequences for what he did. I also have no job. No relationship with my mother. 12 different former coworkers who think I'm a monster. A nursing career that might be over before I'm 35. I went to the grocery store last week. Same one where that guy from his unit confronted me. I saw him in the frozen food aisle. He saw me too. He didn't say anything. Just looked at me. Then he turned his cart around and walked away. That's what my life is now. People seeing me and walking away. I got offered a job 3 days ago. Small clinic 2 hours away. Pays $15,000 less than what I was making. Night shift. No benefits for the first year. I took it. I start Monday. New town. New people who don't know anything about me or what I did. I packed up my apartment yesterday. Not much to pack. I've been here less than a year. Most of my stuff is still in boxes from when I moved out of the house. The house we bought together. The house he said my name didn't need to be on. I drove past it last week. For sale sign in the front yard. Bank owned now. Neither of us got to keep it. Sometimes I think about the version of my life where I just took the divorce quietly. Where I didn't report him to JAG or the mortgage company. Where I let him keep his rank and his career and I just walked away with whatever settlement I could get. Maybe I'd still have my job. Maybe my mom would still talk to me. Maybe I wouldn't be moving to a town I've never been to for a job I don't want. But he'd also still be stealing from women and lying to them and thinking he could get away with it because men need security. I don't know if what I did was right. I don't know if the cost was worth it. What I know is he told me women don't understand property ownership while I signed away $85,000. He texted his girlfriend that I was too stupid to check his location. He planned to abandon me the second he got promoted. And now he's selling used cars with a discharge on his record that'll follow him forever. I'm not sorry for that part. I am sorry for his mother's heart attack. I'm sorry his family got hurt. I'm sorry I lost everything trying to make sure he lost everything too. But I'm not sorry he faced consequences. I'm not sorry I made sure everyone knew what he did. I'm not sorry I refused to protect him from his own choices. My new apartment is smaller than my old one. Cheaper. Farther from everything. I'll be working nights so I won't see much sunlight. Won't know anyone. Won't have friends nearby. But it's mine. My name on the lease. My money paying for it. Nobody can take it from me or tell me it doesn't really count. I guess that's something. People keep asking if I regret it. If I do it differently. If I think I went too far. I don't know how to answer that. Because the truth is complicated and messy and doesn't fit into a neat moral framework. He destroyed our marriage. I destroyed his career. We both lost almost everything. Nobody won. But at least he knows now that women understand property ownership just fine.